So what is the solution for you then, Steve? I mean, do you have a number in mind of refugees that you feel we should take every year?
No, what Amnesty has in mind is what the Refugee Convention requires of all states, and what this country seems to require still of the French and the Italians, let alone the Rwandans and everybody else, is that the people who make claims for asylum in your country ought to have those claims determined, and if they are refugees, be permitted to stay. And if we did that, not only would our asylum system work much more cost effectively, actually we'd still end up receiving far fewer refugees than most of our European neighbours, let alone countries elsewhere.
But Steve, a lot of people, again, will say, hang on, they're in France, a safe country, they've been in France for some time. If they're genuinely fleeing asylum, why don't they stay in France, a peaceful country, a civilised country? It fuels the suspicion they're coming to Britain because they think they're going to have a better life here. It's nothing to do with asylum.
I'm really sorry to say this, it's rather an easy and comfortable position, isn't it, for people in the UK to take when France already receives so many more people into its system and protects so many more refugees than do we. People who come here include people who have family and connections here, not in France. Why on earth should they not make their asylum claims where they will be safe with their family and connections? So why don't we just pull up our sleeves and get on with the job of taking the rather limited, by comparison, responsibilities that are ever asked of us?
I'm sure you would agree with us, though, that nobody wants thousands of people getting on those boats to come across the Channel every day. In the summer, we're going to see dozens and dozens per day. You don't want that. We don't want that. So what is the solution?
Well, there's an easy solution to that, one that has once, over the last just over 20 years, been applied by a British government with the French government. And that is for this country to say to the French, some of the people on your territory, we can receive into our system and help share some responsibility with you. And a very good place to start would be identifying the people who do have connections here and providing routes for them into our system rather than them relying on smugglers.